No. Was that you done? Was that the last
I'm
pop I heard?
serious. And I'm like, yeah, mate, just maybe a couple more minutes. I'll see what I've got left. I'll see what I've got left.
Hey.
Hey.
Cheers, son.
Cheers.
We have to cheers.
We're back.
We're back in
We're
business.
back.
Hello, everyone.
Everybody.
Have you missed us?
Have a sip then. Don't avoid it.
I've had a sip.
Right.
A bit early for me, but that's gone down all right.
Welcome back to, what is this, season 5.
Yeah, it's called 2 Pints with Will and Ralph.
But yeah, but
I
which
thought you
season
forgot the
is it?
title.
What did you?
No. What season is it?
Yeah, it's 5.
Is it 5?
All right, so you're trying to have a go at me pretending I've forgotten something. You're like, how many of these have we done?
I don't know how many we done.
Useless.
We were locked down when we started this.
That's true. Welcome back to series 5 of 2 Pints with Will and Ralph.
Yes.
I love that you thought that I'd forgotten the title when it's literally written in front of me on my top, your top, and here.
And in neon.
And in neon. Yeah, well, it's good to be. We're back at our spiritual home where we started. We're back at Acast.
Yeah.
We're delighted.
Oh,
to
yes,
be
we're back, yes.
We're back with Acast. Thank you for having us back.
Yep.
We're sorry we went away, but we're back and we're very
Yes,
happy.
and also, I keep getting messages from people saying, when's your pod coming back? Well, we're back now, and we've got
back now.
loads to talk about.
We have a new curtain.
Oh, yeah,
We have a new curtain. We were promised that we'd get a fancy new curtain instead of that raggedy black one, and
Well,
now we
maybe-
have a raggedy red one.
Pete, right?
Our producer.
Yeah, our producer. Well, one of our producers said to us, "Oh, I've got a surprise for you when you turn up, lads." And I thought, hang on, we've got a sponsor. No, we've got a curtain.
I honestly thought it was going to be something a little bit more fun than a red curtain. We don't, for anyone that's interested, we don't have a beer sponsor still.
No, we don't. That's why our glasses have nothing on them, no labels.
I actually have some thoughts on that we'll discuss further on in the podcast.
And there's another thing. We're going to be doing quite a lot of pods, and we're going to be doing a lot of them. So we're coming in thick and fast.
Yes.
Said the bishop. Sorry.
Oh, God.
And we're off.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
Sorry.
The mental image alone is just...
Was it the thick or the fast?
Both. One's gross and one's just expected.
So we're going to be doing a lot, aren't we?
Well, yeah, okay.
Trying to be doing them every
Some
week.
people might be new to this podcast.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've got a load of people who've enjoyed it before, who've come to us. But some people might be new. How would you describe our podcast for those people who have never heard it?
I suppose nothing's off the table. We talk about anything and everything. We try and stay current, but it doesn't have to be. We talk about all sorts.
Try and stay current affairs, is it?
Not current affairs.
Well, yeah.
No.
Are you going to pretend you come in and start talking about the news?
Well, I suppose I talk about whatever's
You
on
remember
my mind.
newspapers? They're a
Yeah,
thing you
I
walk
don't
past
know
every day.
I don't know the last time I read a newspaper.
No,
I don't watch the news.
No.
It's just depressing. So I just, whatever's on my head, that's what I talk about. Same with Ralph.
So what's the unique selling point? What's the USP of our podcast? Obviously, it's called 2 Pints with Will. What's it called?
It's called 2 Pints with Will and Ralph.
Thank you. Obviously, it's called 2 Pints with Will and Ralph, and the idea of it when we started was it was just like, what would it be like to sit down? We're two mates in a pub. Whenever we see each other, we catch up and we have a great time. What would it be like to sit down with us and join in that conversation?
Yeah.
And it's really evolved now into. Oh no, nothing. It's just
exactly
it's
the
exactly
same.
the same. Yeah.
But you lot seem to enjoy it, and I'm glad you do. We both are, and we're glad to be back. And we've got, as I say, what we're in 2025 now.
I know.
You know what I mean? It was
It's
like
awful, mate.
What last year? I mean, what happened last year? What was highlights for you last year?
What happened last year? I can't remember anything. What happened last
We
year?
had our own series last
Oh yeah.
You absolute dick.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Of
forgot
course.
that, have you?
We did our TV show.
We had our own TV show.
Yeah.
Which we sort of, it sort of came alive probably because of us doing this, because we got back together from doing the old 2 pints lager
Yeah,
packet of crisp,
yeah.
started doing the pod, and then we now have our own show called Will and Ralph Should Know Better.
This is a bit indulgent, but I'm going to do it.
What?
Well, the TV show, I've saved a few of these screenshots because for anyone that didn't see our TV show, Will and Ralph Should Know Better, it was on You and Dave. And we thought it was just going to be the usual stuff, us kind of dicking around like we do. And but trust me, there was a lot of that. I think that's fair. But we went deeper into things, into our own psyches, each other's psyches. We learned a lot more about each other as people than we'd ever. Like, we've known each other for 20 years and yet almost sort of don't know anything about each other.
I realise you tell me nothing.
No,
and I've learned your skill.
Yeah.
I ask you a question, you go,
Yeah, what do you think?
What do you think? And then I waffle and tell you everything.
I'm a closed book. People have known me for 20 years, know nothing about me.
Exactly. Well, I learnt more about you.
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot about you, but we were very open in a way that's not necessarily comfortable to us. I think a lot of guys, especially guys our age, will recognise that it's not something that we do very readily, is open up to each other and open up to people. Anyway, this is quite indulgent, but I think, probably the most extraordinary response from fans and people who watch the show, and certainly on social media. I had that. It was quite overwhelming, some of the responses that we had. I'm sure you were the same. So without having to, but I felt the need to screenshot a couple of them just to read them to you, because this makes me feel very proud. This is actually really serious. There's no joke here. This is a serious one. But things like, sorry about this, had to reach out. You have no idea how much watching that first episode has helped me and lifted my spirits up. I suffer from anxiety and depression due to a disease from birth called CMT. Blah, blah, blah. What I'm trying to say is that watching you all in 2 pints has really helped me, and I hope this series doesn't stop where it does. You both need to carry this through. Somebody else, all I can say is, this one's amazing. This one was directed at me and some of the stuff we talked about and I talked about in the show. All I can say is, wow, I've grown up to think there was something wrong with me because I shut off my emotions and I've blocked a lot of my past out of my mind. After watching your road trip, I don't feel alone. Because remember, that's kind of what we talked about, that I was like. Yeah. I feel like I need to be there for everyone and take their pain on if needed, but I never actually open up to anyone. Thank you for the laughs and your beautiful friendship with Will. I rung my mum for the first time tonight.
That's down to you, because you don't ring your mum enough.
I do now, actually. We'll talk about that. I rung my mum tonight for the first time in a while after watching your new show, so thank you, mate. And look, there's loads of it. We don't need to go, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, in a rare moment for us of kind of sincerity, that people watched our show and responded to it in a way that we didn't expect, and it was kind of a beautiful thing. And thank you to everyone that watched it. And we're really proud of it. If you haven't seen it
and you want to watch it, just go to the letter U. It's an app, and you download the app and you can watch it for free on there. And if you did watch it, thank you so much for your response. Hopefully we'll be back for another series.
It's also very funny. I mean, let's be clear. I electrocute Will.
Hang on. Funny. We end up on stage with the Dream Boys, right? And now this point is
Starkers.
There's a point. Every episode is about basically
challenging.
Yeah, well, there's a meaning to why we're doing what we're doing, why we are where we are, and this was about aging. So we put on aging suits in Eastbourne, and they were like sympathy suits, so carers would know what it would feel like to be old, and that was an eye opener, especially when you electrocuted me fucking hands. that was. Jesus Christ. That was supposed to represent people who had the tremors and all that. He turned it up on full.
What about the bit where you went to kick a football and fell over in slow motion?
You went down in
installments. Yeah. It was like, I had to rewind that 10 times.
I was like an upturned turtle. But then we said, right, let's check if we've still got it. So I surprised Ralph and I'd booked us to go on stage with the Dream Boys. I was
delighted about that.
The problem I had is I thought they were going to be like Magic Mike, where, you take your top off and maybe your jeans or your trousers, but you keep your underwear on and you dance about a bit. I was wrong, and Ralph informed me that they get the knobs out. And
there's some weaponry going on there.
Hey,
some heavy weaponry.
There was, seriously.
Oh, my God.
I invited my wife. That was the
biggest... That was a terrible mistake.
What a mistake that was. Yeah. She's
looking at you now just going, there's some regular crackers.
She realises I've been lying to her for all these. No, this is actually abnormally big.
That's 9 inches. That.
I've been with her that long. She's now seen what she could have had.
I know.
She's done some window shopping and she likes what she sees.
Honestly, I wasn't even like. When we were younger, we'd have been a bit like, oh God, naked men, and I was literally at this side. I was in the wings watching before we went on, just going, mate. I salute you.
That was it. That sound was that's what it sounded like when it hit his knee. It was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I can't explain it. And there's a clip in the.
There was one lad who is the size of his dick. I was like, that could look round corners.
Seriously.
Honestly, it was unreal.
It could literally stick up his own ass if he wanted to. I'm not saying you would.
Wait.
What? I'm just saying some people like that. I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean some people like Who? I'm sorry. There's
some people who like a finger up the bumhole.
No.
What?
Some people like sticking their own dick up their own arse. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying...
also, we've not been back in Series 5, not 6 minutes. And this is where we've come to. We started off by going, we did a really profound show, and I just want to be like unusually sincere, but now we're back to somebody sticking their own dick up their own arse.
No, I said he could have if he wanted. I'm not saying he wants to.
And then you said, some people are into that.
Yeah, no, like with Other stuff.
Oh yeah. Talk me through it. What are you thinking?
Not me.
I feel like you're. I have no knowledge about this subject.
Don't tell me no one's ever tried to slip you a digit and you've gone, hang on, take your ring off, and they said, no, that's my watch. I'm joking. I'm just saying. I said it was that big it could have.
Are you into that?
No, I know.
Really?
It's foreign.
I feel like that's something that you've tried.
No, exit only. Listen, we've all had some fun, but no. I mean, listen, we don't want to get into what people do because we know there's a lot of people.
What did we say? You don't want to yuck someone else's yum.
What? I've never heard that in my life.
Well, I said that to you when we were doing the tour.
Why would you yuck someone else's yum? What does that mean?
I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, and I can't be asked to explain
listen,
it. I feel like you're swerving from the issue of whether you've had a finger up the bumhole.
Well, we've all had one.
Have we? No, we haven't.
Well, yeah, but I'm not saying I asked for it. I'm saying sometimes people get carried away in the moment and go, whoa, calm down, or trim them fucking nails.
Michelle, you just got your nails did.
No, don't bring the wife's name in vain. She told me when we came in for this series.
Tell Ralph not to bring my name into anything.
My name does not get mentioned, and straight away she's sticking fingers up my ass. We can't have that in this. She's gonna kill me. Seriously. Wow.
So
yes.
So no, it's not something you're into.
No. But
was it one of them where somebody did it like unexpectedly? And you were like, and like immediately after like 45 minutes, you told her to stop.
No, I just think it's, yeah. Dude,
or told him to stop. I don't know what experience you've had.
All I was saying, you've gone too far here. All I was saying was, he had it was massive, wasn't
what? Finger? Big finger?
The penis.
Sorry.
Back on stage with the Dream Boys.
With the Dream Boys, yeah.
But it was an amazing experience. It was in front of 2,500 women. My wife was there, and if you see it, you'll see her cheering on screen, and she's screaming. And I don't believe I'm on stage at that moment.
Oh no, she's not.
She's not cheering me.
I remember seeing her in the crowd, looking through the curtain.
Yeah.
And when that exact moment where she's like, yeah, and she's cheering and like pretending to like do a lasso around her head.
Yeah.
You were stood in the wings with me. Yeah. You weren't on stage.
She was looking at Big Dick, wasn't she?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, when we came on stage, she was like...
She sat down. Yeah, I've seen them. It's just some regular old crackers.
Some regular old crackers.
That highlight of last year was we had our own series.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. It was an amazing journey for both of us in so many ways. And thank you genuinely to everybody some of the messages that I got on social media, I'm sure you're the same, are just some of the most profound and beautiful, heartfelt things I've ever.
I don't think I've ever done a show that I've had no negative. You know what social media is
like?
Oh yeah,
you always get
no
negative. Yeah,
nothing negative.
Not one bad comment.
Really appreciate your support.
Which we can't say that about this podcast. So thank you to everyone that watched it. 2025 New Year's resolutions. Any?
Not really. Do you know what? I sort of like the beginning of the year because I'm excited to what the possibility holds. I think in our industry, you have to be resilient and you have to hope and believe because we're self-employed. The future is bright. You know what I mean? Because if you've really thought about it, it's terrifying, isn't it? Yeah. Because you go, oh, what if nothing happens? But, we're doing this pod, which I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about another series of this. Hopefully.
I keep getting asked if we're doing another tour.
Well, this is what I would like to say. Hopefully, if people want it, we could hopefully go back out on tour.
Yeah, I guess we should actually just put it out there to it. Yeah. Literally, if you're listening now, we'd love to do a tour. We've done it twice, and we're kind of debating. We're just trying to work out whether people would want to see us again. So, if you're interested in a tour and you think you'd like to come and see us, obviously we're trying to keep things entertaining and think of stuff to bring you.
We love it on tour as well.
Oh, we have a great
Getting
time.
out there, seeing
audiences are amazing.
If you've been to the tour, you'll know.
So if you'd like to see us on tour, just I don't know, feel free to. It would be really nice if you let us know. Give us a bit of confidence. We're not sure if we're confident. I mean, who knows what we'll do on tour? We like to do a big finale.
But we'll see. I mean, listen,
who knows whether we'll do a new finale or an old finale?
We'll see.
I mean, maybe we could bring the Dream Boys into it in some way.
Bollocks! I've seen enough of that.
No, not them. But maybe we could redo our Dream Boys thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not sure either. Not without a pump and a tie off.
Oh yeah.
Not without a pump and tie off for a penis transplant.
If you don't know, these people they have a skill set that they have to pump it up and tie it off. So it keeps the blood in it.
If you didn't see the show, we were like, so it's full naked, and the guy who's sort of talking us through it before we learned the choreography is like, yeah, it's full naked, and we're like, right. Is there anything we can do? What about we want a pump? Because we actually accepted pretty quickly. We were like, right, well, if we're getting our dicks out, if we're doing this, let's do it. Let's do it properly, right?
I was wary of getting the dick out in front of them lot with them.
Yeah, we hadn't seen them at the time, though. So we were like, okay. So we went, all right, give us a pump. Show us how to use the tie off or whatever. The guy was like, no, it takes a lot of practice. It can go very wrong. And basically said, like, if you get it wrong, your dick can fall off.
Yeah.
And at that point, we went, oh, well, I'll just cope.
Yeah. It was, but yeah, they have a skill to doing it, apparently. But it was unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, what about you for 2025? What are you looking forward to? What are your plans? Have you got any new things happening or?
Oh, just this really, just doing this now, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No more Caribbean, that's gone.
Caribbean's finished. It is finished. Obviously, I missed it this last year. So I finished 2023. 2024 was my first year in 5 years of not doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I missed it. You're not going to finish that and not be gutted not to be there. But, you know, I made the decision to leave. It felt like the right decision. It still feels like the right decision, but I still miss it.
Yeah, it's new beginnings, though. Don't you think?
Yeah.
New year, new beginnings. That's
100%. Actually, I'm kind of like you. I don't really have any resolutions. Oh, there's I alluded to it before. I'm calling my mother a lot more.
Good.
And my family members, like I had them all over at Christmas and over the New Year period, and I don't know, like. We won't get into it a lot here. If you saw our Will and Ralph Should Know Better, you'd know that I have a complicated family dynamic, which even sounds more complicated. We're not the type of family that's in touch with each other very much, but we're sort of doing that a little bit more. And I don't know, that feels quite kind of nice. Feels good.
2024 and highs and lows. Personally, we said our highs, but there was a lot that went on, I think, in the world.
We lost a lot of people, didn't we?
That we can talk about. We lost a lot of people. Do you remember there's people who passed away? Well, actually, I want to mention Paul Denan, who's a friend of ours. We know Paul known him well. And
you knew him very well, didn't you, because of Hollyoaks?
And not seen him for a bit, but I know he got really sick and poorly last year because of his vape. He was addicted to vape, and Paul had addiction problems before. And then
pneumonia, didn't he, from vaping?
From vaping, and it was constant. And he actually died, and revived him. And I don't know whether that contributed to how he passed away or what happened, but I know he got very poorly from it. Really sad loss. He was only 46 and he's got a little boy. And sad. Shout out to Paul. And
had a lot of mental health battles, didn't he, over the years, Paul? But was an incredibly, just a lovely bloke, just a really, really sweet guy.
Yeah, sad. And who else did we lose last year? There was a few.
I've got some. I actually wanted to talk to you about this. This is how much I want to talk to you about this. I took some screenshots at the time of things I want to talk to you about because I have some strong opinions about Liam Payne. Not so much him, but just the narrative around him. And you're gonna have to bear with me on this one. This is a bit of a rant I've got, right? But
we're going in for a rant.
We're going in for a rant.
Well, is he a belt in this chair? I need to strap myself in. Listen,
what we do for a living is so much fun. We love it. And me and you, particularly as people, I certainly have never once, I don't think you've ever once failed to stop to have a picture with someone, to say thank you, because, and it's not about going, oh, aren't we generous? It's like, it's a lovely thing when people come and care, give a shit about what you do, because it allows us to do what we're doing, and it makes my day.
Yeah, I also think as well, if you are in the public eye and people come over, it's probably 30 seconds of your life and it's something they'll remember forever. So why not make that a positive moment? I don't understand people who wouldn't make that.
And I will say that, in fact, I've got a few things. I will say, if you're Robbie Williams, Liam Payne, David Beckham, whatever.
We're not on that level, obviously.
No, and because it's easy to say for us, because actually being at our level, it doesn't impact on your life that much. It's a couple of minutes out of your day, and it's something to be grateful. However, if you are at that level, it can become intrusive just because of the sheer weight of numbers. If every single person wants to talk to you, you can't live your own life. So I do get that, right?
Yeah.
I think what I've wanted to say this to you on the podcast for a long time. I used to. I remember getting into arguments on Twitter, which I don't do anymore. And sometimes if this ever came up, I would say, for me, I can't speak for everyone who does what we do, but I can certainly speak for me, and I would like to know what you think. Don't worry, I'm getting to a point about Liam Payne in a minute, and it's about this. If you've recognised me and you're interested in, you'd like a photograph or you want to say hello or whatever, then just ask, right? And I'd said this on Twitter, and people were like, yeah, but maybe we don't want to disturb you. And maybe if we don't want to disturb the person that we want a photograph of.
That's fair enough.
It is fair enough. But don't then take a secret photograph.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right.
Because that's creepy. It is creepy. I think, honestly, it is. I feel, I'm not going to speak for everyone who does what we do, but I find that creepy. It's like, don't take a secret photograph of me. If you want a photograph, come and ask. And 99 times out of 100, I'll be like, oh, of course, mate, and that's fine. I can't vouch for everyone, but that's how I feel. And I find the secret photographing.
Secret videoing.
Yeah, and
when you're having dinner and you realise someone's filming you.
Yeah, exactly, and that happens all the time.
Food all down your chin.
Yeah, exactly, it happens all the time. And I find the idea when people go, well, we didn't want to be intrusive.
Yeah.
To me, it's much more intrusive to be secretly filming me than it is to just go, do you mind if whatever? And then some people on Twitter, back in the day, have said, yeah, but then you might not get a photograph of David Beckham, and I'm a bit like, then you don't get one.
Right. Yeah.
Then you don't get one. And then some people say, well, because of what you do, you're public property. And it's like, well, that's a bit of an interestingly complex one, because everybody also has a right, like a basic right to their own privacy as well. If you're having a meal with your family or you're, sorry, I've just remembered this. About 3 months ago, I was in North London, where I live. I was having a drink with some mates. I was absolutely desperate for a poo, right? I was going down the steps in this toilet in the pub, and they come out the other way and they're like, "Oh, Ralph Little," and I went, "Hi, mate, you all right?" And he's like, "Oh, mate, can I have a photo?" I was like, "You can, mate, but listen, I'm just going to the toilet." He's like, "Oh, right, yeah, no, listen, I don't want to intrude." And he'd had a couple of drinks, and he wasn't being rude. I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, but I'm just going to go to the toilet." Mate, I'm desperate. I'm turtling at this point, right? Crowning, right? And I'm going
the cloth.
Yeah. It's chalking a dot on my underpants. And I'm going, right, I've got to go in. And he's like, okay. And he carries on talking to me. And at one point, I was getting the sweats and everything. He said, so you all right just to do a quick selfie? And I went, yeah, but can I have a shit first? Right? And I went into the toilet and I sat down and I was thinking...
Is he waiting outside the cubicle?
So I was thinking, that was a bit rude. I feel bad. I don't like being rude to anyone.
Is it like this?
Well,
you finished yet?
Hold on. And it's a bad one, right? So it goes...
No, right. You don't need the sound effect. Right. The bad one was enough.
It was a bad one. It was one of those that, like, there's a lot. And I'm like, oh, God, sweating and everything.
No.
Are you going to be much longer? It's just I've got to get back to my friends.
Was that you done? Was that the last
I'm
pop
serious. And I'm like, and I don't want to be rude. So weirdly, I go, yeah, mate, just maybe a couple more minutes. I'll see what I've got left. You should have said, I tell you what, come in here. Yeah. You guys
wipe this for me and I'll take your picture.
Have you got any paper in there? I don't know. It's just like, why? I'm so grateful for people who ask, who want my time and care.
But like, I think people understand.
Where did basic etiquette go?
Where's this Liam Payne thing going?
Okay, and so the Liam Payne thing, this is basically a more serious version of that point.
Go on then.
And it really pissed me off. The day after he died, there was a thing came on my Apple News, and I read it. And I haven't saved the whole article, but I took a couple of screenshots. And the reason is, the gist of it was, it was girl who was in the hotel foyer where Liam Payne was like half an hour before he died, speaks out. And what she was saying was, he seemed really like he was desperate to be noticed. That's what she was saying. He seemed like he was desperate to be recognised. And just really being quite shitty about him, like, I don't know what happened on that day. Maybe he was rude to her. I don't know. But what I do know is she said he seemed absolutely desperate to be recognised and desperately wanted people to speak to him. And then it was accompanied by these pictures from her Instagram in which she's secretly photographing him in the background in her selfie.
It doesn't look desperate to me.
Well, it doesn't look desperate, does it? And it's like, you're saying he was desperate to be recognised, but you're secretly photographing him. Yeah. How does, and if he's not in a good place, if he's mentally not in a good place, and he's feeling pressure and he's feeling like maybe he does want to be recognised, I don't fucking know what was going on in his head, but the hypocrisy of going, he seemed like but you're taking secret photos of him. I know. You're fucking part of the problem. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. And that's obviously a very extreme example of what I'm talking about. But I don't think a lot of people who aren't, there's very few people who are in the public eye who are going to understand what
Who
it's
are
about.
that famous? Liam Payne is a
and for
different
me and
level
you,
than
generally,
us.
apart from stories about having a shit or whatever, right? They're just funny anecdotes. For me and you, it's almost universally a lovely experience.
Great. I love it. I love meeting people.
But you don't have a right. You don't have a God-given right to be secretly photographing Liam Payne when he is
don't you
struggling
think
with
that's the world
mental
we're
health.
in now?
Yeah.
When's the last time?
Yeah, it's the world we're in, but it pisses me off.
Have you ever been to a gig recently?
Yeah, nobody's watching a gig.
Nobody's watching it. They just got their phones in the air. I went to an outdoor concert last summer with my missus and my daughter, and as soon as the act came on, it was like robots.
Yeah,
everyone's phones in the air, and the actual some of the acts now are saying, listen. Be in the moment, take your picture, put your phones down, and just enjoy the moment. But everybody's addicted. Everybody now, if someone has an accident outside, before anyone helps anybody, they take a picture and film it.
Filming fires
Exactly.
in LA instead of escaping or helping anyone. Can I just show you another picture of? I took another screenshot. This is another picture of Liam Payne, desperate to be recognised. You ready? Minding his own business on a laptop, being secretly photographed. This is the same girl who was going, he was desperate to be recognised and he wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
But you're not leaving him alone.
No.
Do you it's think complicated because there's a lot of people going to listen to this and go, oh, shut up, Ralph. Oh, boo-hoo, it's a really difficult life. Well, it's not for me and it's not for you.
Yeah.
But it clearly was for him. And you're part of the problem.
I think the problem with fame is you don't own fame. It's not yours. And I think the problem I've got, and I'd like to tell this to people, I'd like to go and speak to people who are maybe getting into the industry or maybe going on reality shows, is fame is not something you own. It's like it'll always be in front of you. You'll never catch it. So don't chase it. You don't own it. If somebody sees me in a program and they see me in the street and they recognise me, then I'm famous to that person. If the person next to them has never seen me, I am not famous. So you don't own it.
Have you ever had that thing?
But people chase fame, and you can never catch it. And and they get addicted to it, and they end up doing very they'll do out of character things just to be notorious.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And have you ever had that thing where? If there's a group of people recognise you, there's 4 or 5 people who recognise you, and somebody's chippy about it for some reason. Often it's like if it happened a lot when we were younger.
Yeah.
But say a group of 5 people and 3 of them are girls and 2 of them are guys, and a couple of the girls recognise you, but the guys get a little bit chippy because the girls want to talk to you.
I don't give a fuck who you are, but she likes. You can have a picture.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Or people love.
I get that all the time.
Love going. I don't even know who he is. I don't even know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't even know who you are.
I don't care.
And I'm just a bit like, I didn't ask you to.
No.
I didn't ask you to. I didn't walk up to you going, by the way, do you know who I am?
Yeah,
imagine?
But they like to say that you do. Oh, he walked around going, do you know who I am? I've never said that in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Or he was desperate to be recognised while he's minding his own business on a laptop.
I totally agree.
Tell you another one that has happened to me a few times. Nothing as bad as when I was trying to have a poo a few months ago, but a number of times I've been having a wee at the urinal.
Oh, yeah.
There it is, in hand. And somebody's having a piss at the urinal, shaking it after. They're like, oh, hey, Ralph. I'm like, hi, mate, nice to meet you. And they're like, hold out their hand to shake their hand. And I'm like, can we just wash our hands first and give it a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my Liam Payne thing. And I just find the whole thing quite sad and a reflection of it's a complex problem.
Well, I'll tell you this brings me on to something, because there's a new section of this pod.
Oh, yes. Will's very excited about his new section, everybody.
Yes.
He's very excited. What's it called, Will?
This new section is called What Will William Tell? Right?
Very good. Very good. Hold on.
Well, yes.
Very good.
Have we got some theme music for this? Yes, we'll put it on now.
Right,
what will William tell? That was the theme music.
Fabulous.
So
I'm very excited.
Basically, it's just some things that are on my mind. It could be a news story. It could be something that has annoyed me. It could be something that I've thought of in the week that I thought I'm going to speak to you all about it.
It's something you're going to surprise me with
Ralph doesn't
once
know.
a week.
Now, this is actually, I'm tying this in with what we were talking about.
Okay.
About fame and how people will do more or less anything now to be famous. There was a program on years ago with Terry Christian called The Word.
Yeah.
And it would say, I'd do anything to be on TV, me.
Yeah.
And it'd be a bloke who would be
maggots.
sick into a pint glass and then drink it.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. And then there was another guy who said, I'll do anything to be on TV, and got inside a washing machine and they turned it on. Mad. And there's another one who was like, he got this old woman, she took her teeth out and he snogged her. It was that sort of stuff. Anyway,
To be fair, though, that does it for some people.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? Always take your teeth out, love. Yeah. But anyway, so...
There was one guy who...
if there's a choice of teeth out or teeth in, which one are you?
Well, also, frankly, if there's a choice of that or spewing up into a pint glass...
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy who ate maggots, wasn't there?
Yes. So anyway, we're in that world now because I'm going on to this what I wanted to tell Ralph about now.
Right, go on.
And I just got to the point where I was thinking, really, where's your morals? What are you doing? And where are we now? And what comes next? I mean, where are you going to go next with this? So I'm just going to try and find it on my phone. There's a girl.
Talk amongst yourselves.
No, there's a girl, right, who slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours.
Yeah, Bonnie Blue.
Bonnie Blue. Now, I didn't know you knew about her. But she slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours. Now, for me, I'm just thinking, A, what are you doing? B, imagine your parents thinking what they thinking. But also then thinking, if you ever want to get married, you're going to have to go to an island far, far away, right? But I think...
Well, there's about 1,500 people.
But I think on the wedding night, they might know. When you'd be like throwing a pencil in the Albert Hall.
It was like, I was really excited about this, but it's a bit like a Tesco bag.
I feel like I've just stuck my dick out the window. What's going on here? Anyway, I'm just thinking, do you know what I'm saying though, Ralph? It's like, where's the cut-off point? It's like willing to be notorious for... She wants to beat the record for one man every 45 seconds is what she wants to do.
What, is he going to do it twice?
But there's a new person who wants to challenge her record called Lily, and she wanted to do 1,000. She's in training apparently. Wait, hang on. I just said that out loud, but how do you train?
Yeah.
Is it stretching?
All right, is it stretching?
Well, I meant your legs. What are you thinking? I meant like working out.
I don't know. Do you know? Well,
reverse clamp.
Two things. You said. I actually have read up. I've read quite a lot about this.
What do you think about somebody?
I think it's strange and fascinating and blah blah blah.
Fascinating. I just don't
well,
get. Well,
yeah.
I just don't.
For a start, if I remember rightly, what you said, what do her parents think? If I remember rightly, she said that they're very proud of her and her mum helps her do cleanup.
Well, there you go then.
Right. So there's that.
My God.
Unless I misremembered that, but
I think that was Lily's mum as well. She helps her clean up.
Yeah.
They're very proud of her.
Listen, I think that this is very, very complicated. I'm not saying that we should avoid talking about it, but
I'm just saying my opinion is I'm shocked that this is what we've come to now is she's got a profile because she's slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours. Well, and I just think...
I think it's very complicated because I think that our sort of... our kind of expected and pretty normal visceral response to it is, oh my God, really? What? And that sort of makes sense. But like logically thinking about it, it's complicated. And it's especially complicated for us as men because she, as a grown woman, has a right to do what she wants with her body without necessarily being shamed or judged for it, right? She has a right to that. But listen, this isn't me being all woke. I'm just saying
that's
that
up to you.
I'm just saying,
opinion is
I'm just saying that there's complications to it.
Right.
She has a right to choose what she does with her own body. If it's also true that if a guy goes, I've fucked 1,500 women, mostly the response is going to be like, yeah, well done, mate.
I know it wouldn't be. Come on, man.
Well, that's what people always say to me.
yeah. And also, you only last 45 seconds, so you tick both boxes.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it just shocked me because I was like, because I'm not...
Look, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be proud if that was my daughter.
I've got a daughter.
I wouldn't be proud if that was my daughter or my family. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't want that to be my girlfriend or blah blah blah. I'm just wary of making a generic judgment on something I don't understand. I can't help but feel, and I might be completely wrong. I can't help but feel that surely there's some sort of. This is very complicated, but to my instinct is that there must be some sort of trauma response.
That's what I think.
There, right?
But why ain't no one helping? Why ain't no one saying what you're doing?
But I'm also not a therapist. I'm not an expert. Not whatever.
Yeah,
and if Bonnie Blue ever listens to this, I don't want her to think that I'm saying that that's true about her. That seems to be my instinct. but I'm kind of a little bit like, I'm treading
Are
very
we too
carefully.
old to understand the world now is people are willing to do whatever they want and are free to do whatever they want, and there's a platform for them to put it out there and make a name for themselves?
Well,
Am I too old
Not
to
just make a
understand
name
that?
for themselves, but, you know,
She makes money out
I would
of it.
imagine she's a multi-millionaire by now.
Of course. But the information was there. It was in my mind, and I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this.
Yeah.
I need to talk to, and just because it's about opinions, and we're allowed to have an opinion. And it shocked me that was a thing, that there's a record, and and I've got a daughter, and I was just thinking, how does that look? This Lily girl walked down the street.
She did an interview where she actually was in tears about it, but then
She did 100, and then Lily
100 interviews.
No, she did 100 men, and then started getting emotional. And she said it's really, she wouldn't advise it.
Yeah.
But then she also
walked that back.
She walked down London with her face covered in male bodily fluids. Walked down the streets with children walking past and all that stuff, just to see people's reaction with human male jizz.
It's weird, isn't it?
On her face.
Human male. You were trying to sort of go delicate medical terms. Human male jizz. Brilliant.
I was trying to sound like how I would if it was.
Do you remember we actually had a guest on our podcast in an episode that we never actually put out because we decided it was better for privacy or whatever, but we actually talked to a sex worker.
Yeah.
And she was really interesting because she was sort of saying she challenged my perceptions of a lot of what we're talking about. That's why I'm being a little bit like middle of the road.
Listen,
because
all
she
I'm
was
telling
like,
you is information.
She was like, the way I see it, it's a legitimate job, it's work, it's this, it's that.
I'm not saying
and
it's not a legitimate
and
job.
I don't want to work in an office. I know, but then I'm saying all this and I sound all like
If it's
liberal.
in the news, we can talk
and
about
then
it.
I
That's
sound
the
all
point.
liberal and whatever. But obviously, I still think, Jesus Christ, that's a lot
a
of
lot
guys
of
to
men.
fucking let
That's
slap.
a lot of men. I'm
That's
trying
a
to
lot of
work
guys that
out-
are slapping the train on you.
I'm trying to work out how you do that and how you come out of it mentally stable. And then I'm probably thinking, well, she's probably not mentally stable, which I don't understand. But then there's other people
you don't
saying,
want to judge, maybe she is.
Then there's
who
other
knows?
people seeing her make money.
Yeah.
And probably, and she's an influencer now. And they go, oh, well, if I just slept with 1,050 men, I beat her record,
Yeah.
I'll probably make loads of money.
Yeah.
And is that right? So this is the thing is,
know.
people having access to these so-called influencers and different, is the messaging. And I don't know what that looks like or
It's
how
a
we
weird
change it.
world now, and we've
It's a
said
weird
this,
world
we've
out
said
there,
this
man.
many times. I don't have kids. You do. Renee's what, 16 now?
16.
She's prime age. She's a girl. She's prime age for being influenced by
Exactly.
influencers.
Exactly.
And I'm more interested. You can't speak for her, but I'm more interested in how you feel about that and what you worry about for her.
Well, you know what would I just, just be a parent and bring them up with, hopefully, values and morals and boundaries. We had this conversation last night about people who get pregnant young at 14 and stuff like that. And I had people in my family who were pregnant young, my niece and stuff like that. My sister got pregnant quite young. And it's information you can pass on that say, listen, it's going to be a very tough life for you if you don't make these right decisions, or your boundaries and know yourself and know you. So we just try and put our information into our kid where to value yourself and not what we expect from her, but what do you expect from yourself, and have them conversations and keep them talking open. Some people sort of don't have them relationship with the kids. I think it's important to have an open relationship with your kids enough that if you don't want to talk to me because I'm your dad, still talk to your mum. And
it's funny,
values and morals.
We
and
talk about getting older and of an age and stuff, but like, I feel like I'm much more in tune with what my own self-image of myself. Everybody thinks of themselves as a good person, but when I look at who I am now compared to who I have been, I'm a much better person now. Like I walk the walk that I talk.
Yeah, I know what you
and
mean,
I think that it must be nice. I feel like you're different now than when we started this podcast. You're a lot more thoughtful, a lot more considered now.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've hit that just that she's hit an age where she's really going to need that, which is very nice.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I just complimented you. You don't
very
get that
much.
very often. It must be a new year.
Well, do you know what? All it is sometimes online things shock me, and I read it and it shocked me, so I want to talk about it.
It is shocking, and I think it'd be weird if it wasn't.
But I do want to say another side of social media that, do you know how if you watch something on social media, right, it creates an algorithm, so you will see more of that kind of content.
You're like, why? I got into a point, I was like, why do these girls, it came on my reels once, and I was like, oh, hello, why do these girls with massive tits keep coming on? Why is the algorithm pushing this?
Yeah.
And then, but obviously, I'm like, I mean, it's on my reels now, so I'll look.
Might as well have a
And then I'm
look.
like,
Oh, no, you've done it
that's
again.
why the algorithm's pushing.
Exactly.
I got
Well-
a question for you. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, I just suddenly thought we're talking about Bonnie Blue, we're talking about Lily. I can't remember her name, but and all this.
Phillips, I think, Lily Phillips.
Right, but we got our dicks out with the Dream Boys. I don't think it's no. I don't think
Not
it's
the same sport.
I don't think it's the same. But there are people who will have moral outrage about that,
I understand that.
and I just think that's interesting.
I'm not having a moral. I'm asking
I know
a
you're
question
not.
of
I'm
how
just,
where do we go next with shock and. Because I think that's what it is. If you can create some shocking content, it'll get loads of views. You earn money. Is that good? Yeah. Are we going down the right path here? Where do we end up? People killing people online and then seeing the footage and make it. I don't know. I'm just saying. Where's the cut-off point of what our people are seeing online who are influenced by these people? Yeah. But then this is what I wanted to say about this because I wanted to end on something that is quite positive and also. For your algorithms, if you are getting a lot of stuff that you're sort of going, why is that being sent? If you go on to, like, there's a site called Wholesome Side of X, right? And it's all videos of something really wholesome and heartwarming and amazing stories.
X as in Twitter, right?
X as Twitter, yeah. And there's another one called Restoring Your Faith in Humanity. Now, Michelle's shown me this, and if you look at that, she just gets these messages of real positive things that are happening, like someone being saved or someone surviving something, or kids turn up when the dad's had an operation, or an animal being rescued.
Yeah, there's one called like Good News Daily or something.
And so there is stuff out there, and if the more you look at that stuff, the less tits you'll see.
True.
I know you
Which
probably
doesn't
don't
really
want that.
work out for me. Yeah, I feel like you're solving a problem that doesn't exist for me here.
Well, you know what I'm saying, but there is positive out there. That's what I'm saying.
Not to be too cynical here, there's lovely stuff out there, and there's that stuff's great. But as a general rule, and we live in a uber capitalist society, outrage sells. Shock and outrage sells. And the more outrage, the more comments, the more money. So
if someone says, "Don't look at that over there," you're going to look, aren't you? Yeah. And I think, and listen, we're not on this to judge anybody. We're not here to sort of say we think that. All I'm saying is, when at my age of 48. I've lived long enough now to know that we're in a new world now, and the social media is growing, and the content is getting darker. Yeah. And it's just a question: is it right? I mean, how do you stop it?
Do you know what I thought was the most shocking thing about the Bonnie Blue video?
I haven't seen it.
Have
you watched it? No,
well,
what are your algorithms?
No, that's what I'm saying. About that whole story. Do you know what I thought was the most shocking thing about that whole Bonnie Blue story? The 1,500 men or whatever it was.
12. I think it was. What? I can't remember. It was a lot.
The thing that was most shocking about it was that it was only 19 minutes long. I was fucking livid.
Exactly.
I'm joking.
You were just on the vinegar
I'm joking. I've not seen it.
Now listen. Everyone's allowed to do what they want if they're old enough to do what they want. We know that. It's just that when it's out in the public domain, that means we can talk about it.
I will tell you this. I've seen her interviewed a couple of times, and she's not going to be upset by anything that we've said because she...
Don't give a shit, obviously.
She doesn't give a shit, and she's quite open about going, if you're talking about it and you're complaining about it, that makes me more money.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying,
well, whatever,
is this right or wrong?
Whether you're outraged about it or not, she still makes her money. So look, Bonnie, you do you. Fair play to you. We find it, whatever we find it, but it's worth talking. It's always interesting to discuss. Yeah. This has been a surprisingly intellectual, pseudo-intellectual, well, okay,
I won't go as far as
borderline intellectual,
as
a slightly more serious chat than it usually is. But we have talked about getting fingered up the bum quite a lot, so I suppose we've kept our level.
Well, yes, you said that. I was saying he could stick it up his own ass, and then you went on a tangent. Listen, at the end of the day, this is 2 pints of Will and Ralph. You don't know what you're going to get.
Neither do we.
Because we don't know what we're going to give you.
Not a clue.
But that's hopefully the beauty of what we give you, hopefully.
Listen, we'd love to hear from you about whether you'd like us to go on tour. We're up for it in principle. We just want a bit of confidence to know that people are going to want to come and see.
Do you want to come and see us? And if you haven't seen us, do you want to see us for the first time? And if you have seen us, would you like to come and see it again?
We would also like to include, in a sort of more collaborative way, our fans, people, anyone that sort of interacts with us is always great. If you've got any stories, if you've got any things, if you've got any if you've got any Instagram clips you want to show us, or videos, or silly things, or things that are worth mentioning. Actually, if you've got things you'd like us to talk about, you just talk, Will talk, you know, in Will's What Will William Tell section, or things that you think that'd be interesting. I'd love to know what the lads have to say about that. Please let us know. 2pintspodcast.com.
Yeah.
Any
stories you've got? Anything you think? Oh, I'd like the lads to tell this story.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, and Will would like to know. Just let us know if you've been fingered up the bum.
Stop saying that! No, don't say that.
Get in touch with Will Mellor. He'd love to know.
Leave it.
He's obsessed.
Don't send me any pictures. Jesus Christ, I'll be flooded.
Brownie points. Right. Thank you so much, guys. That's us for...
And we are back.
Back! We're back!
We're back. I'll see you in a bit. Cue the music.